morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Gamion. I will be your game developer for this stream. My co-host Mega Kitty is laying down somewhere else, but maybe we'll catch her a little later this evening. So I'm a AAA developer by day, indie by nights and weekends, and I'm making an online multiplayer soccer brawler called Field of Heroes. I'm going to hope to release it in September. So beyond that, we have ads coming up in just a moment, but this stream I'm going to work on modding support. We actually will have Unreal Engine integrated with Steam and downloading marketplace content and trying to get that all looking good. So with that, let's take a quick pause, let the ads play. Okay, coming back from ads in just a moment. All right, and we're back. Anyways, was saying before, I am working on integration between my game and Steam Workshop. So the idea is that you start a custom match lobby, and then you can browse the marketplace for fields to play. Then you can install one of them and play, and have other people play with you. That's sort of the big picture of what I'm working on here, and still a fair bit of work left to do. So we're working on going to make it first so that if the content's not installed, then it will install it. So that's what we're going to start with here. Okay, it's a bit of logging here, and we are in a good place. Alright, and my cat seems to have wandered into the room, but she doesn't want to be on camera, so we'll just have to be patient with her. Okay, so what my change I just made should do is make it so when looking for all the existing mods I have installed from Workshop, it will report to me the status on all of them. Right, Missy? What? Where are you going? And she left the room. I don't know about McKitty sometimes. Oh, what's this? Text. Oh, forgot a. There. I did that wrong. Let's go back. That. And, oh yes, all the little things that we need to do to look correct. And that should be a string, because those are F texts. Alright, while I'm waiting for that to build, let's see, let me check and look at my list here of remaining tasks before early access, which is not very big anymore, because I went through hundreds of items, and just to get down to these last 5. Oh, here we go. So, community servers, really when I get this workshop stuff working, then I can probably knock that item out pretty easily. As well as making their own fields and Steam Workshop integration. They're pretty tightly connected there. But there's still work to do on both the editor project and the game itself. Alright, so here we go. Now what you're looking at here is the debugger. This is the part where the game starts up. We look for all the existing workshop items. So we found, we go through the list of ones I've subscribed to already on Steam. And let's look at this one here. I'll clear the log and show it. Well, that's interesting. There's no subscription or title. Pretty sure I have those. I wonder why they're not printing. I'll preview that, I know. Subscribed and installed. And because it's installed, then we can go ahead and get the installation info. Okay, now here's the fun part. So Steam downloaded this mod I made into this folder here. Let's have a look at that folder. Yep, here it is. I want to keep making note of this because this will come in handy later. And now, this is where we actually load the plugin into, load the plugin into the game. And for those of you Unreal developers who are watching, I'd be happy to share this with you. And I think Mod.io has a really good implementation of this as well. So go to load the plugin, which of course is very hard to do because of IntelliSense has never gotten any better over the past decade. So let's look at UGC subsystem. Yeah, load plugin. So we get the plugin name and folder. And then make sure it wasn't already loaded. And then we add it to the plugin manager here. We add the search path to the plugin manager as well. Then we get all the discovered plugins, see which ones are not yet enabled because we haven't mounted them yet. Then we go ahead and load them. We first mount it, and then we get the asset path it's mounted to, which is usually the name of the mod. And its content path is here. It's sort of the virtual mount point, as it were. We'll register that. And it's mounted. And then we load the assets, which is kind of complicated steps. We get the asset registry to load from disk. On failure, then we just we'll just use the add to registry bin and load it that instead. And that failed to load. So why would that fail? And the reason this is failing is because this only seems to work in a packaged build. It doesn't work from the debugger. But that's fine because I'm not interested in playing the actual mod itself in this debugging session. So we're getting a failure there. So let's go to custom play. And here's the map picker. So now we have 3 tabs. Standard fields, which is what the game comes with. Subscribe fields, which did not load because we couldn't pull the assets. And Steam Workshop, which has our mod. I was curious how this text appears fine, but it didn't show up in the debug in that logging there. But it is what it is. Now, I want to try something different. I'm going to see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. I want to see what happens when I remove this content. Throw it in the recycling bin. Let's see what happens next. Steam is still running, by the way. Let's see what happens. Okay. We see it's installed. Okay, it's still empty. I'm refreshing the folder. It's still empty, but it is installed. That's curious. Needs update, no. Downloading is no. Download pending is no. That's curious. Okay, so what that means is I don't seem to have a way to know that the content's not there. That's not good. I wonder if it's going to download in the background. Yeah, workshop items there. So, still not downloading. You know, I guess if the content isn't in the folder, I could request a download. That wasn't really the flow I was planning on. I may have to do that, though. It wasn't pending download. Steam just didn't know that I removed the folder. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, no plugins found. We're going to request a download. So let me learn how to do that real quick. Alright, so we're going to try to download it. And I'm going to keeping an eye on this because I want to see if it just pops up or not. Don't know how Steam does that. So for that, we're going to need a new library. Download item. So let's do online UGC. Download item. And we'll put in our identifier. We're going to make it a high priority. So we actually have not implemented this function yet. So to do that, we're gonna here's how I did all this stuff. UC subsystem. So I architected a lot of my systems, especially the online systems, in a way where if I'm using another platform like Epic Games, PlayFab, Nintendo, that it wouldn't be very difficult to switch to those platforms. So here we have all these interfaces. These are all abstract classes. Yes, abstract classes for the implementations per platform. So here I'm going to add a new function. Oh, that should be. Let's do that too. And I think the default priority was high priority. Was there a default? Nah. Hey, what's that? So do that. And then, so let's implement this. So that's going to be the signature. Hey, Sysmall, what's up? So I'm working on mods. I'm working on what happens if I have a workshop, Steam Workshop mod on my machine for my game, but I go ahead and delete the content from the Steam folder. And how is the game going to deal with that? And I'm going to have it re-download it. So the idea is that by the end of this evening, I want to have my game be a lot more robust in how it handles Steam Workshop content. So now, let's see, here is the function that handles going through all the downloaded mods. It sees that it is supposed to be installed, but it's not because obviously it's not here. So if I don't find any plugin files, then I'm going to assume that the whole thing's missing and probably out of date or whatever. It needs to be re-downloaded. So I'm implementing that now. So the way I do this, that's the way I have my game talk to Steam, is I architected everything, all my online systems to work for other platforms like Epic and Nintendo and all the others, even though I don't actually support any of them. The idea is, though, that I go through these objects, like one for user-generated content, one for matchmaking, one for friends, one for telemetry and all that. So, and then I have this abstract class with the functions, and then I can implement them as I go. But I also have two special subsystems. One is null, the other is simulation. Null is for, like, you launch my game but you don't have Steam running. That's going to launch the null system, and the null system is going to do nothing. It's going to fail at every turn. So let's look at UGC null. So we're going to override download item here. And then subscribe, unsubscribe. Actually, I don't think I want to make that a const. Take this const out. Okay, so then we do the implementation. And null, we'll just do nothing. Silent fail. We don't even have to do anything, we're just silently fail. Then we also have simulation. This is what I use when I'm running in Play in Editor. It's just, pretend that, I can do whatever I want. And I can make the simulation succeed or fail on based on what my needs are at the time. In this case, I'm just going to make it not do anything as well. So we're just going to have this do nothing. And we're done. Now, we're going to do the Steam one. And this is the one that counts. So we're going to go to Steam. Oops, that's null. PlayFab. Steam. Simulation. And even if I never support them, it's just good to, think that way, because you get used to it, and you may end up doing it in another project, and then you've already done it before, so it's easier. So here, and by the way, because Steam does not work on mobile, we have these macros to protect us, to protect the compiler. So we're going to keep that. So we actually want to do the call to download item. So I believe that's just Steam UGC download item. We're going to go with the same signature that they have, because why not? We can always change the signatures later if we really need to. I want to convert that. Yeah, post fail ID. I want to convert that to int64. Yes. In fact, that should be a published file. Published file ID. Yeah. 10 minutes of framework effort early, even if wasted is worth it. Yeah, because you want to do stuff later. Some question, can EGS players queue into a match that uses the Steam Workshop map? They will be able to, because one of the fields I expose in the matchmaking is the name of the map that the player's playing. What I don't expose yet is the name of the mod or the identifier of the mod that they use. I'm going to publish that too. That said, I would also like players to be able to join a game that uses a mod and load it when the game is already in progress, and then have them download it in the lobby. But that won't work if the game is already in progress, because that's too well. I guess no, they could download it first. They download it and then they join the game. Perfect. So yeah, short answer is yes. And I think Blizzard. I'm trying to remember if StarCraft did that. I forgot if it was StarCraft, but I loved it. It was so seamless. It's like, I don't have the mod. Just don't worry about it. Just jump in the game. Oh yeah, Killing Floor did that too. I joined a server and then bam. Even if the game was active, it would connect me to the server. I download the map while the server is still playing, and then I join the game. So it was really cool. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna probably roll with that. So then this is our ID. Okay. Yeah, RTS is kind of different. You really don't want to do join in progress for an RTS unless you architect around it. I don't even know how that would work. Okay, so this should start the download. I don't think it returns anything. Let me check. Oh, it does. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, I guess I like that return value better. All right, we're gonna do ads in a few seconds, and during the ad, I'm gonna see where Mega Kitty is, so I can maybe move the camera if I have to. So let's update our signature here to support a Boolean. Here, it's Mega Kitty. Where was I? Oh yeah, so now we gotta do this. We gotta update the null as well. And simulation. Right, and then the other thing. And we're back with Mega Kitty. Let's see what Mega Kitty's up to. And she's being herself. All right then. So let's make sure this get on install info. Where did I mess up? What do I have for online UGC? Get on install info. It's a bool. Oh yeah, that's what I did. A little bit of cleanup here, and get the null subsystem 2. Meanwhile, let's see if, okay, still not there. That's good. Oh, yes, so we gotta do, UGC. Oh, yeah, we gotta do return false here. Nope. Why is it? There we go. Someday I'm actually going to add comment blocks here, but not today. So if this works, then we should get to this download item call, and then this should be called, and then this callback I put in a while ago should get called after the download finishes. So let's see if that happens. Okay, here we go. Good, didn't find it, so we start the download. That's a successful call. Now we wait a few seconds. Oh, look at that. On item downloaded got called. All right, so that was a fast download. And look at that, we got it. We got the mod again. Actually, that's too fast. I don't know if I'm going to test that. I want to test. I want to show the download in progress. Okay, so let's do. Good. Now, by the way, this right now, this Steam callback, this is happening in a worker thread, not the main thread. So you got to do this in the main. You got to do this stuff in the main thread. There, now we're back in the main thread. It was a success. And now it broadcasts a message that workshop item was downloaded. So, okay, so a couple things. We need to mount that mod. Oh no, that's been there for a while. So my artist created so this uses what's called Rive. Rive is a plugin for Unreal that lets you create these kind of dynamic 2D visualizations. So my artist put these together and then told me about the Rive plugin. Lucky for me, it actually compiled and came to my project working just fine. So then my artist gave me the content files that they made, and I hooked them in, and they all worked. So back to custom play. So that was good. So that we got that working. Now we're going to do something a little different. So what I want to do next is I want to simulate a user getting a mod for the first time. The plugin's working usually the second or third. Yeah, sometimes the first. And yeah, in fact, when I upgrade to Unreal 5.8, I'm going to need to change one or two of those plugins to make it compile right. Rive isn't very good with their updates. Sentry just came out with its update, but I think I need to... It's not backward compatible, so I'm going to have to do it when the time comes. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unsubscribe like that. So now I'm unsubscribed from the item. Let's see if that deleted the files. Nope, didn't delete the files. All right, let's close the game. And still didn't delete the files. All right, so let's get rid of this. And let's go back in the editor. And I want to think about when I subscribe, I want to start downloading the game, I think. I don't know if it's automatic, though. Let's see if it's automatic. Let's do that first. Let's see what happens when I actually subscribe. I'm going to put the breakpoint back in this again. Oh, another reason why the plugins and files seem to work is that I've had over a decade of experience with Unreal Engine, so I kind of know what to look for. It's one of the reasons that they like me at my full-time job. So let's go to custom play. And you know what? When you work in the engine for 10 years, you're gonna have bragging rights too. Okay, so here's the mod. Subscribe. Let's see if it downloads by itself. Well, yeah. Well, the other thing is that I work with really talented people who've also spent a lot of years in the engine. So, you know, I can, like, one day, you know, they could struggle with something and then I'll fix it in like 10 minutes. But next day, I will struggle with something and then they'll fix it in 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh, that was a lot easier than I thought. So it's not downloading automatically. Okay. So we're going to need to make it download, not high priority, but just regular priority download. So we're going to need to do that next. Yep. Oh yeah, Blueprint. Yeah, my designers, the designers who heavily use Blueprint, I swear there were times where I thought they needed my support and they didn't, because they figured it all out. I didn't even need to tell them what to look at. They just figured it all out, and I'm so happy to work with them. Yep, but yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're, it's a lot of it's experience. You know, you spend a lot of time in a project, you see patterns, you remember the patterns. You have to help your designers, yeah. But they learn along the way, and then they eventually, sooner or later, they're going to start asking less questions or asking at a lesser frequency. But if they continue to ask questions even like 6-7 years and they still don't know the basics, then well, you know, they're kind of gonna need more work. But no, generally yeah, they're good to go. That's most of the time, yeah. And if they ever feel overwhelmed, I like to encourage them to stop, break the problem down into consumable pieces, and then work your way to fixing the whole problem one piece at a time. Yeah, and the thing is, I'm a hands-on learner. Some people like to read books, some like to watch YouTube videos, some like to follow the YouTube video click for click like I did when I learned my first Unreal project. That was a really nice video, by the way. It was like a 30-part series on how to make a snake game on Unity 3D, and I learned that's how I learned Unity at first. But yeah, different people, different ways to learn things, and repetition, I think, is the best teacher. Okay, so let's go. We're in the custom lobby, so we're gonna look in the widgets. So we're gonna it's widget. There's a field chooser, custom lobby. Let's see. Where's my UGC? Oh, yeah, workshop item tile. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, well, the nice thing about rebuilding from scratch is that now you have one more case of what doesn't work. And if you know 100 ways how something doesn't work, then you're going to hone in on a good solution more quickly. So this is the widget that you see when you see the workshop item. You have these hidden controls here for download, which never gotten to really test yet. Here's the button for subscribing and not subscribing, and the title here. So we're going to make it so when we subscribe, let's see, subscribe. So this is called when we initially subscribe to the task. So let's see, this is where we subscribe. This is an async node I wrote in C++. Let's see. Failure. Either way, I want to. Okay, so on success, I want to start downloading the item. Right here. So we're going to need to expose a new game subsystem function for that. Do we make a ton of custom nodes for our designers? Not really. But as needed I will, but lately I haven't. Lately I've just been I've been doing lots of gameplay fixing things. Things like, the weapon doesn't work if you do ABC, and I fix that. Or, if you like run and jump a second time in a row, then it doesn't, then it acts all wonky, and I fix stuff like that. Yeah. So, yeah. So really, I'm in the strike team I'm in. I'm kind of helping clean the bug list out and supporting the designers as they go. Now, designers, sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes I slow them down because I can't make a node fast enough. So let's going to say download item. All right. Identifier. Oh, just kind of minor side note. You've seen me use const references to fstring in C++. When I make a blueprint node, I try not to do that. I like people to be able to type in the the inputs instead of just having it be a pin. Now in this case, you only ever pass in a pin, but all the same, I just prefer not passing by reference like that. Is it high priority? Was that the name of the flag exactly? Yes. Okay. So priority. And this doesn't affect the subsystem itself, so that's going to be a const. So this will be kicks off an items download. By the way, I just want to see if it. Okay, good. Kicks off an items download. Identifier. True if the download should complete as quickly as possible. True if the download started, otherwise false. Designers should be able to keep building the entire game without you. Engineers handle, well, yeah, well, there's been, there's been some back and forth at work about, the roles, and we what we kind of leaning on right now is that we don't want engineers to be errand boys for the designers. We want the engineers to share in the designing of things. and we want designers to share um, with engineers architecting systems where it applies to designers. So we don't want to really silo them very much, or just make a engineer like a fry cook. So that's what we do. And even like during play tests, the engineers give their feedback, and a lot of it's considered too. So at the same time, we don't want everyone to do everything, because that just burns everyone out. So yeah, designers I work with, they have technical chops, just in different ways. Not only that, but they're real sharp at the game. They will notice things in gameplay that I never even think of. Like I think a weapon feels good, and they're like, oh no, it's all wrong. Like, but it feels great. It fires. It does everything it should. Good reload times. It's balanced. Like nope, it's not balanced. Reload time's not good, and some of the art doesn't work either. So, and sure enough, every time they're right. Like they make the changes, and then I play the game like, yeah, you're right, it was better. So, that's if you want to look. You can go to certainaffinity.com. Maybe see if they, if they're hiring and all that. Oh yeah, one of the first designers I worked with in that company 8 years ago. The guy had a stopwatch. He had a stopwatch all with him everywhere he went. He had spreadsheets of spreadsheets. I mean, this guy had the numbers, but man, he balanced everything. Like everything felt good after he had like a bunch of passes on it. All right, so download item. So now, if this is right, then this should download the item. So let's restart. Plug that node in. But yeah, it is a difficult time in the industry right now, and unlike I don't know how it is with game dev, but in certain tech sectors, a lot of people got laid off in the past year and in 2 years, but then got rehired because they overestimated AI's ability to get things done and correctly. But I don't know if that has been the case for game development. I do know that I think it was a third of the whole industry was laid off in the recent years by some analysts. It went over 1,000 gameplay tags. Yeah, it is obliterated. There could be reasons. I still think that there may have been a real overinvestment in during the lockdowns. I mean, everyone was playing games during the lockdowns, so to speak. But I think they overcompensated, hired way too much. They had way too much confidence in the projects that were coming up. Yeah. Nah, I'm cool with the chat. Honestly, I could do all this work offline anytime. I just rather do it online tonight. Maybe tomorrow night too. All right, so now I'm distracted. Okay, so now we're going to get the download the item. So let's see. Oh wait, that should be... Wait, did I make that pure? No, I don't think I want that to be... No. Alright, that's better. And we got ads coming up. Now, I love the industry chat. And maybe we can get other people participating. I think everyone else is lurking. So we got ads coming up. We got more Mega Kitty coming up. Yeah, found employment too. There's something I'm wondering. I see some indies streaming full time. Where are they getting their money from? Solo and Tower Games now. Maybe we can talk about that after the ads. I want to know what full-time solo indie developers, where they're getting their money from. Is it savings? Do the publisher pay them? Maybe they're living with family, friends. I'm curious. I've never been able. I wouldn't take that risk. I'm just not. I don't have the chops for it. There's still kind of a casualness to it that, and I don't want to be the top dog running my own company. Hoping that my games will put food on the table. That's not me. That's not me. Before this, I worked medical software development. I'll tell you that after ads too. Oh yeah, yeah, medical. You think game dev is stressful? International IT. Oh boy. Download item, and let's not make it a high priority. And we don't care if it works or not. We just want to try. Well, actually, no. What should we do if the download doesn't start? Well, actually, it should always start because we are logged in and everything. Actually, you know what? These should go over here. That's better. Okay, ad should be wrapping up. Yep, so I have my smartphone next to me so I can see when the ads really finish, and now they're finished. All right, so yep. So CTO of a $5 billion company for 4 years. So when I read that, my first impression is, well, you must be well off financially. Given that level. I started. I was maybe the 7th or 8th employee at a company called Next Tech Systems, and I worked there 20 years, C++, MS SQL development, and then I thought it was time to move on, so I did, and I got laid off. Oh, nice severance, but nothing big. Okay, so I moved on. Well, then, and when I left, Next Tech was about like 200 employees-ish, I think, maybe a few more. And then I checked on them a few weeks ago. It's like, what is the company worth? And now they're worth over $1 billion. So then I connect the dots and realize, wow, I had a role in helping make a company that went to billions. So that feels, well, yeah, I could have stayed, but honestly, I would rather. But yeah, I left because I was just kind of getting tired of it. Getting tired of the just everything, just kind of just want to work on games and have fun, and I wasn't having that much fun at work. And after that stretch, I thought it was time to move on. And if game development doesn't work out, then I can always go back, if they'll have me. And it is what it is. Yeah, Halo. It was a pleasure to work on the Halo IP for a bit of a while there. That was cool. I was like, wow, I'm actually working on this legendary IP, but it certainly isn't the same as it was at the beginning. Okay, so anyway, there's tile, create existing image. Oh yeah, I've got to do thumbnails too. Okay, so the first thing I want to do now is once we set that. Preview image, update that. I want to bind UGC. Yep. Well, I'll tell you, there were a lot of people at the studio who genuinely, truly cared about the Halo IP. We wanted it to return to its former glory. It's just not the way it worked out. But there were a lot of people who genuinely cared, and I know it just lost its magic. But there's a lot of people there who truly cared and passionate about working on that IP. So it's just, you don't really hear about them. You just you hear about all the bad stuff, and yeah. Yeah, the execs, well, I don't know what goes on in their heads, and I'm not gonna try to pretend. I just do believe that if they had played Halo growing up, I think things would have been different. If they were big Halo fans, then things would have been different. Okay, bind and unbind UGC events. So let's see. I should have an event for when the download finishes now. Oh, I don't. I never made an event for that. Well, let's have to fix that. Where is my online UGC? Yeah, being able to communicate between disciplines is a very critical skill. Like when like even right now I'm streaming, I want to try to explain what I'm doing to people who don't hardly even use computers often, as best that I can, and it's always good practice too. So we want a dynamic multicast delegate. So now I want to make it so when the download finishes, it will trigger one of these. It will trigger a node I'm going to make, and when that node is triggered, it will update the appearance of the widget. So we'll see if that works soon. Let's see UGC game subsystem. Workshop item downloaded. Actually, I call it item. I'm just going to say item downloaded. And we'll just give you the identifier of the item. I think that should be enough. Wait, do I cache what item this is? Yeah. Okay. Not hiring for design. Oh, okay. Yeah. Keep an eye open, or keep an eye out. All right. Dynamic. I think it was It was delegate dynamic. Or no. I forgot what the syntax was. Dynamic. There we go. Then I think this already listens for downloads. No, it doesn't. All right, I gotta do that too. Triggered when an item is downloaded. Has finished downloading. Okay. So now I want to do I'm going to bind events to the UGC object. Initialize init, bind events. Another thing is I like to implement functions in the order of which they are called. That's something I kind of started doing a few years ago, and I like it. It's just easier to read for me. Yeah. Plus, you see the order in which they're called, and that helps you understand them too. And okay, so that. Then when you bind events. On one other pattern that I kind of came up with on my own. So in Unreal Engine, whenever you see a variable that begins with on, chances are it's a delegate. It's a delegate of some kind. Like a multicast and whatnot. Now, oftentimes some people like to have the handlers also have the on prefix, which I don't like. Because I'm confused as to whether it's a handler or if it's a delegate. So what I do instead is I always prefix it with handle. So I say handle workshop item downloaded in response to on. And so whenever I see in my code, I see handle, then I know it's probably an event handler. At work, I usually do that as well. Nobody notices or complains. All right, so that should be good. So, and then here, okay, so I got to make the event now, or compile it. Now, why is this complaining? Okay. Declare dynamic delegate one param. Oh, got a comma there. Mega Kitty. All right, how about that? Other than that comma, it worked the second time. All right, let's see what Big Kitty's up to now. I hope she's still there. I think she is. Okay. So here, on item downloaded. I wonder if I can create a meshing event. We're going to put this in the UGC graph. Wait a minute. Oh, it was there. Bind UGC events. Okay, and then they'll do the same naming convention here. Handle, download, finished. They're full-time units with zero funding. They're burning savings. Okay. The few need to have funding and zero idea how they got it. I should ask, I know a couple by name. I should ask them. So, anyway, so back to handle, download, finished. Oh, unbind. Let's do that. Next. Okay. It's another thing. Always bind and unbind your events. Don't just assume everything's going to work just because you ignore it and your widget disappears and all that. Don't. Just as good practice. Everything that you explicitly bind to, you have to unbind with when you're done. It doesn't matter if it doesn't crash. It doesn't matter. You just do it. Otherwise, you will burn yourself later at some point and wonder why it's not working. Something isn't working anymore. And on top of that, you got you could be left with like dangling references, garbage, more memory that's not properly cleaned up, and so on. Okay, so if we get here, then the download should have finished, and then we refresh the widgets, which will just redo everything. Refresh for item. Oh, no, we need to do one other thing. We need to update item state. Yeah. So what this does is it queries Steam for all the latest info on the item, and whether it was downloaded or not, whether it's installed or not, etc. I just want to tighten that, make sure that's nice and neat. Alright, so we got our event bindings. Let's make sure those are called. Yeah, unbind UGC events. So now we should be able to freely do a cook. And while we're cooking, oh, what's this? I got microscape message. Let me check that out. Fletching's at 24. I want to get fletching to 30 so I can knock that out of the achievements list. Oh, and by the way, I reached out to, I think, at least 7 different publishers, and none of them are interested in helping any funding or any contributions to my game. But I kind of expected that, because this is a time where publishers are real tight about who they hitch their wagons to. So I'm not offended at all. I totally get it. Mine is kind of a high-risk game. It's I guess the big things are it's not something people have never seen before. It is a social game though, and it's plus soccer brawlers were more popular in the past. So I could see, and the graphics aren't that new, pretty. Simple style that a lot of new games have. So altogether, I can kind of see why they're hesitant. That and not really well established. And welcome, Sir Dr. Dark and Wing Poo. Also, how's your music going, Sir Dr. Dark? I gotta give you a shout out here. Get more people watching your music. No clips. Still learning? Gotcha.
Oh my god.
Absolute
Yeah, one shot in hill. And he loses. Need help?
And they should destroy his life.
Oh! Triple! Fuck! Oh my god! Clip that shit!
And there you go. Okay. So now we're going to run the game. We're going to see what happens. If I did it correctly, yes, still not downloaded here. If I did it correctly, then after I subscribe to the item, the download should start, and I'm going to double check that part. The download should start, and then we should see some progress on that item. Oh, you know what? I just thought of something. I gotta go back and look at something real quick. I forgot whether I activate the timer. So when you subscribe to an item, I run a timer that runs every couple of seconds to see if there's been any updates to the download and all that. It's pretty rough, but it gets the job done. And welcome, Joker's Tricks. How's it going? So I want to see if I kick that timer off after I subscribe to the task. I forgot that if I do or not. I'm also at some point I'm gonna have to get a more upgraded computer. So I built this one a few years ago and it's held its own, but it's starting to slow down. So, but I may be able to get this game out before I have to do that. I'm aiming on September. All right, so where's that timer? Where I grew up, yeah, 96 gigs of RAM. So I grew up north in Michigan, went to college in Ohio, and got my job, my first job in Ohio, and then moved to Florida, where I continued working there. They expanded, and then I moved to Texas. All right, here we go. So that timer, did I set that? 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah, so I clear it. Oh, okay, so I cleared it. When do I set it? Toggle item polling. Okay. Yeah, I knew it. I don't think, or do I? Subscribe item. Yes. Okay, so I do poll. Good. So I don't need to do another cook. Yeah, close to Detroit. Yeah, Alex, some people said I don't have an accent at all. I thought it was pretty funny. All right. See, I'd love to move to Texas. Yeah. Although a lot of people leave when they realize how hot Texas gets. So, it could go either way. Yeah, we had a huge influx a few years ago. Like all of the techies were moving here. And then a ton of them left because they couldn't stand the heat. Also, Texas has a video game museum near Houston. No, not Houston. Near Dallas. Okay, I'm gonna wait for ads to finish before I do this test. Yeah, Cali. Yeah, Cali. I'm sure it's a beautiful place. Lots of great parks. I just want to know why they grow almonds in California when there's such little water there. Why not grow almonds where it's like there's a lot more water? And why are they dumping all that water? Well, are they dumping water into the ocean, and so why? But anyway, here we go. Ads. Top off my water here. Okay, ads should be done now. So let's see if this all works. Drought is over. Well, rain comes, rain goes. But in Texas, even though my area is in a drought, Even if it weren't, I still would avoid trying to waste as much water as possible. Okay, so back here, Steam Workshop, we got no subscribe fields, we got Workshop. Now, if I press this, then it should subscribe and begin downloading. The avocados dried up the entire river, huh? Well, I guess the avocados were more important than the river. Guess they couldn't let the river get a chance to recover itself. Okay, so... Oh, now it's just spinning. Okay. So I don't know if I'm subscribed or not. Let's see if it thinks I'm subscribed. Nope. Okay, now it's now I am. Now it thinks I'm subscribing. Yeah, look at that. So now, okay, it must have finished downloading. It didn't even update the download status. So we've got a couple issues there. Yeah, the icon was too big for one thing. And why was it waiting? I'm gonna have to test that. Let's start over here. Whoa, now it thinks I'm okay. All right, so that was a crash and burn. So we gotta do this again. We're gonna breakpoint subscribing this time. Also, I'm gonna see if subscribe item. Okay, we're gonna test that I subscribed first, and then we're gonna. Oh, hey, it's empty now. That's interesting. I didn't do that. All right, here we go. Test 2. Subscribe. Oh, Mega Kitty's eating, I think. Yep. Okay. Callback. Now failure. Success was true. Do the callback. Yes, that was correct. Unsuccessful. It was incomplete. That was... Okay, subscribe item. So we go back here. What called this? Okay, so that says I'm subscribed. Did the item download? Yeah, it downloaded. Why did it fail that first time though? All right, once more. I'm gonna unsubscribe and let's try this again. Yeah, good chatting with you too. Have a good one. clean it up, and here we go. Has anyone told you to sound like Casey Kasem? Yes, on several occasions. All right, here we go. Clean debug output window. Let's see what happens. Oh, and let's get rid of all the breakpoints too. Oh, look at that. Now, oh, it worked for a second. And what to do? I mean, that worked, but it was downloaded so fast. Okay, I think about what to do next. That's better. All right. So we're going to go back to the editor here. So a couple of things. Actually, wait a minute. When that download started, I'm going to have to do a couple of different things here, like this toggle for polling. Let's download item. Go download finished. Make a new start downloading item. And we're going to put this we're only going to have the timer run in response to that. We're not going to do any background checks yet. Start downloading item. So we're going to download it. And on it's successfully starting to download, then we set the timer. We're going to set a timer And it's going to tick a lot more rapidly too. Update, download status, progress. And instead of we're going to do like 0.2 seconds. We're going to update it in state, and then when it's done, okay, and then, oh, okay, we're going to make a new download progress timer. And we'll cancel that. We're going to get rid of the old timer too. Also, I prefer binding first, so let's move this way over here. Probably gonna take this out entirely. Yeah, that's right. Can't really cancel a download. Download finished. Got an idea. We're gonna call stop download. Stop download progress timer. And when we unsubscribe, either way, we're going to stop. Actually, no, we want to do that before we start to unsubscribe. Okay, that's cleaner. And then we'll get rid of this. Okay. Do another cook. Before I do that, this needs to be fixed. This should be auto-set content. Let's move this up. Okay, that should do it. I think like this. That should do it. title, I think, is still in a good spot. We can move it up a bit. Okay. And what was the... What was it pending? Oh yeah, that was pending download. Okay, let's see how this looks. See how much memory I got. Oh, not too much. So while it's running, I want to show you all how I'm able to integrate, quote unquote, integrate the editor, the workshop editor with Steam. And it's this little CMake project that I made. And it's a simple console app. And what it does is, let's see what this main source file here. You send it the command, and then it will do something and then output the results of that to standard out. And with that, an app can listen for stuff like, what is my item status, and what am I, give me all your Steamworks items, and it will give it all to the editor, which in turn will present it to the user. So it's just a simple command CMake console app. That's all it is. If you want to edit an item, then it looks at the inputs, parses the inputs, changes the item as needed, and then submits an update, and that's all it is. Done. All right, let's see what happens now. If I did it right, I gotta unsubscribe again. We got ads coming up. When ads come up, I'm going to find where Mega Kitty is and see if I need to move the camera again. That was easy. You don't have any logging for that. How to log when the unsubscribe succeeds. Yeah, I need to put logging in these async functions. So let's close out. Alright, we're back with Mega Kitty. Now let's just add a little bit of logging here and get going. Oh, what's up, Meg Kitty? All right, let's try this again. Got a little more logging this time too, so this should help. All right, we are not subscribed. So now we're gonna subscribe. What should happen is it should become a check mark. We should see some download progress, and then we should be good. Oh wow, went from 1 to 100%. Okay. Well, I guess. Wait a minute. Am I doing that download calculation right? What if I'm calling this some zeros? Let me check. I knew it. This should have been times 100%. Or wait a minute. What if I print it as 100%? Percentage has a value between 0 and 1. So with that, or multiply it by 100. There we go. We gotta do another cook though. I want to mount the mod too. So, downloaded, finished. Hey, Sparkling Fox, welcome. Hey, we got Mega Kitty here. Okay, so what should happen? I'm gonna unmount UGC. So when the workshop item is downloaded, we want to unmount any existing mods and then mount the ones that were downloaded. So where did I do that? That's it. So we're going to make a new function, remount UGC item. Unload assets. Maybe that's all I need. Okay, cook's done. So I'm going to punt on this for the moment. Let's see. Content path. Actually, we're going to do... What do we do here? I'm going to move... Okay, we're going to make two separate functions. Mount and unmount UGC item. I'm just going to call this handle item download. Put a big old to-do here. I may actually work on that offline. If can't get me. Failed find. Workshop item. Disk. Okay, that we don't want to download it yet. Although maybe, what if I want to specify the path too? Yeah, it's passing the content path. What do you think, Big Kitty? So I actually have two UGC subsystems in this project. One of them is the one that integrates with Steam Workshop. The other one, which it depends on, is a Workshop agnostic subsystem. It simply manages plugins. It doesn't care where the files came from. So with that, I think what I'm going to do is maintain a map. And KKitty's rated. Welcome, KKitty. Thanks for joining. For those of you who aren't familiar, I am Gamion. I'm a AAA game developer by day, an indie game developer by nights and weekends. And show our appreciation for KKitty's raid. Let's go ahead and give him a shout out.
Here, baby, ready? Here.
It's
Show
another Mega
everybody.
Kitty.
You can do the kitty cat dance. Come on. Ready? Come on. It's okay. See, everything's okay. Cat. I'm a kitty cat. I'm a dance, 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 and a dance, dance, dance. Cat. I'm a kitty cat. And a... You hear that growl? Dance, dance, dance. I'm a kitty cat. Dance, 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 and a dance, dance, dance. My goodness. Oh.
And sure enough, we got Mega Kitty on camera as well. Just want to go over there and give him a pet. So we got Mega Kitty up on the top right, so we'll keep an eye on her the whole time. So back to this. So anyway, I'm working on my game, and I'm making it so that players can make their own soccer fields and upload them to Steam and then share them with each other. So that's really oversimplifying things, but that's what I'm doing. So specifically, I'm trying to make it so I can download them on the fly. So that's what I'm working on right now, because I think gamers would expect nothing less. So now let me get my train of thought back here. Yep, well, yep, go, everyone, you gotta eat. So, let's see, mount UGC items. Let's start over here. Unmount. Okay, we do want that. Get install info. So it's an error, really. Should have already identified. Actually, no. Let's start from start clean. Let's do. Let's put that in here. So when we find it, if it's already there, we're going to find it. Content path. Okay, right. All right. We're going to call this with identifier. Actually, we just use the name outright. Plug in descriptor. That's really what it's called. Yeah, let's make these booleans. I think that's a boolean call. Yes. Am I using this? Let's see. Oh, I'm not using this. Oh yeah, I forgot I took those out. Yeah, it's coming up. And out mounting should not need that. Just need the identifier. Okay, so if this works, probably, yeah, if this works, then we should see the more accurate download progress, and it should mount. Oh, actually, I need to fix that. It's not going to mount. And download finishes. close to my release day. Aiming for September. Okay, and we're back from ads. In fact, let's make this more accurate name. That's more like it. Okay. Okay, so let's do load and unload UGC item. And then here. Try to download it. It's gonna be low priority. fix that. So once I come back up, what we should see is that I have the item already installed. But then I'm going to try to uninstall it and then reinstall it. Something here. Workshop I'm downloaded. And let's see what Meg Kitty's up to. No, don't go. No. Bye, Meg Kitty. She's getting a snack. All right, finally going to come up now. Nope, don't want the editor, I want the game. You know what? I want to move this over here. So let's see what Megakey was up to earlier. All right, here we go. Okay, install info. Good, good, good. Okay. And then here, we're going to unsubscribe. And nothing happened. Successfully unsubscribed, but I didn't get a notification there. Successfully unsubscribed from... It should have, the checkbox should have turned into a plus, and it didn't. On success. And Makey's coming back. Okay, now we're back. So now we're back. We got the plus. And we're going to try to subscribe and download on the fly. Here we go. Yeah. It's not working. Praying to subscribe. And nothing happens. Got nothing from Steam. No idea why it's just doing that. Praying to subscribe. I may have to, I don't want to, but I may have to implement timeouts here. Like if Steam doesn't respond, I may just have to, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm subscribed anymore. Okay, I subscribed, but I didn't get the... Yeah, there it is again. It's just not responding. Successfully unsubscribed. Alright, let me look at the editor again. Can't even... If I'm not even getting that working, I don't know what's going on. And I'm gonna put some... Let's see, subscribe item. Unsubscribe item. I wonder. What if my calls aren't running? Okay, so I'm gonna look at the unsubscribe or the subscribe bit first. Success. Update item state. Oh, okay, that makes sense. The item state. So because I'm not subscribed to it anymore, it can't. So either way, I got to refresh the widgets. Okay, that always returns, but it always returns true, so it should have still worked. Got an idea. UGC Steam. Public. That may fix it. Oh, need to change these around. That should fix that. So I think what was happening was Steam wasn't messaging me the results of those earlier calls because I wasn't calling a certain function that needs to be called every frame. Let's see if I'm right on that. Okay, so right now I'm unsubscribed. Okay, so that's going to be the slate we start with. We're unsubscribed. So because we're unsubscribed, oh good, and the content should be empty. All right. Imagine I'll probably get this working when the ads are rolling. see if we can test this before they start. Oh, ads are running. All right, this will be a Mega Kitty ad break. All right, ads are winding down. All right, let's see if this works. And we subscribe. Oh yeah, there we go. And then it installed, and then we load it. We find it. And we loaded it. Yeah, that was a problem. Okay, so there you go. Now let's see if the reverse works. Now we're going to unsubscribe. But I want to do it from a clean slate. So let's start, close it and open it back up. We're going to try and unsubscribe, and we should unsubscribe properly this time. All right, there you go. Then we close the app. Let's see if the files stick around or not. Okay, so that's stuck around. All right, I want to test it one more time. Okay, there should be no breakpoints now going in. Yes! Look at that. That is great. And then we unsubscribe. And there you go. We got it. Now, there's one last thing I wanted. Oh, and there, the content's gone because Steam deleted it. Okay, so there's one more thing I want to do before I declare victory on this. So we have an event that's captured when we unsubscribe from an item, or sorry, from when we subscribe from an item. We don't have one for when we unsubscribe. Let's see. I want to make it so we unmount that before we unsubscribe. Get, oh no, we want the async. So async action, unsubscribe. And did we download that automatically from... I think we did. What I'm thinking is this works, but I think I can do an even better implementation if rather than downloading the item from Blueprint, I have the game UGC subsystem downloaded instead. And then the game UGC subsystem will be fully managing subs and unsubs. But first I want to commit all my codes to source safe or source control, just to be sure. Let me look at that real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna... Okay. But first thing to do is, it works. And the last thing I want to do is make changes and then it doesn't work anymore, and I don't know why it doesn't work anymore, and then I get lost. So you want to avoid that stuff. So let's just get that committed to source control. Everything but the CyanI change. Oh yeah, I built updated the version 2. Updated the shipping build and completed the loop, closed the loop on subscribing to a Steam workshop item and then downloading it and mounting it for play. Okay. Now let's go back to Blueprint, and we're going to make it not download from Blueprint. We're going to have the UGC subsystem download it instead. Oh, it also means that we're going to need to broadcast the fact that we're going to download it. Actually, let me think about this for a minute. On second thought, I think I'm going to think about this maybe offline. Yeah, I think I need a break. So, but we did make great progress here. Let me see who else is streaming game development tonight. Okay, I'm going to rate us off to... so many good choices here. race off to Boolean tonight. He is working on a side project in Godot, and we're going to see what that's all about. So thanks everyone for coming this evening. I may stream again later this week. We'll see. But made some good progress here, and looking forward to keep pushing when I'm not as tired as I am now. I did put in a full day of AAA development after all. So thanks again everyone for showing up, and I will catch you next time.